When we drop the armor that protects us from feeling vulnerable, we open ourselves up to the experience that bring purpose and meaning to our lives.
Get your daily dose of motivation on the Motivational Moments with Michelle podcast. In Motivation with Michelle podcast, you'll get encouraging, uplifting, and life-changing wisdom that will transform your world at your fingertips, 24 hours a day. Get a fuller, deeper revelation of the tools you can implement to see incredible transformation in your life from Michelle Newstetter's powerful teachings. Tune in whenever you need to be edified, uplifted, or a dose of motivation, no matter where you are. Subscribe to Motivational Moments with Michelle podcast with Michelle Newstetter today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SoundCloud.
Hey there, and welcome to this Wednesday Word of Wisdom. My name is Michelle Newstetter, and I am so glad that you are joining me today. We are going to talk about two of our basic human needs. What are those two needs? Well, safety and security. See, safety and security are all about keeping us safe from harm. These needs can sometimes include shelter, job security, health, a safe environment. If a person doesn't feel safe in their environment, they are going to initially seek to find safety before they attempt to meet any higher level needs. This also applies within our relationships. See, when couples come in for marriage counseling, the most common concern that they share with me is their struggle around communication. Most couples say that if their communication was better, they could work through problems that arise in their relationship on their own. Or at least that's the way it feels, right? And I agree with this, right? We do need to know how to, really connect with our spouse and have healthy communication, because you know what, when there's a lot of turmoil and lots of arguing and discontent, and that we just can't seem to get on the same page, that's really tough, right? But I also believe that there's a more important layer that needs to be in place if we're even going to have good communication actually occur. And the foundational element is around emotional safety, kind of the understanding how to create emotional safety, right? This is going to be really critical in our ability to foster any kind of meaningful connection and healthy relationship. So, kind of to put it simply, emotional safety is the idea of basically feeling secure enough to really truly express yourself with someone and show up as your most authentic self, right? You would be feeling like it's safe, that this person is going to hold space for you. It's about establishing trust with another person and really feeling safe enough to be open and vulnerable with them. Emotional safety does, like in any relationship, it goes both ways. When you feel emotionally safe and you start to reveal your true self, it opens the door for your partner to do the same thing. And when both people in a relationship feel secure, it really provides a safe environment where a deeper and more loving connection can form. Brene Brown talks a lot about vulnerability and even uses some examples from her own relationship. And she says that she defines connection as an energy that exists between people when they feel seen, when they feel heard, when they feel valued. And when they can give and receive without judgment, safety occurs. And when people can derive a sense of sustenance and strength from the relationship. And that's real connection. One of the biggest hurdles that couples struggle to often overcome is in establishing some emotional safety. And you know what? I find that very often emotional safety is hindered because of things like pain, our partner's pain, or past traumas, or views of emotion. And that can be the result of something that either we have or even haven't done, right? Because this can stem out of their history. And so when we can understand each other's history as well, it does help us to start to find those areas where we can work through some challenges from the past that allow us to be a little bit more vulnerable. And so when we are hearing our partner share their difficulties, their complaints, their frustrations about ourselves, that can be really challenging to experience. And we don't want to feel poorly about ourselves. We don't want to feel like we're letting people down. We don't want to feel like we fall short. We don't want to feel like we're not good enough. I think enough of us are telling ourselves that often enough in life already, that we don't want to hear it from our partner. So then we become super defensive. And rather than really fully listening to our partner as they share, we just start to react in that conversation with our own complaints, with our defenses, with our kind of like turning it back on the other person. So even if our partner is sharing complaints about something you've done or you haven't done, what we want to do is try our very best to remain curious, to remain focused on just what they're sharing. Try to see if we can connect with the emotion that they're experiencing, trying to be aware of how this is impacting them at that moment, right? Through that lens of curiosity. Because if, even with Stephen Covey's 7 principles of highly successful people, he talks about first to hear, or how does it go? Yeah, something along the lines of we need to seek to first understand and then be understood. So we really want to seek to understand what our partner is bringing to the table. I mean, we can be aware of what our partner is sharing and how it impacts us, because there's always time for another conversation, right? Once our partner has shared their pain, you've validated it, you've used empathy within their emotions, it's okay for you to start to share some of your tender emotions as well. Like even being able to say something like, it was really hard for me to hear you share about whatever they were sharing, because, and we share why it impacted us, right? It just reinforces this idea that I'm not good enough, which I'm already telling myself often enough. And so that was really hard for me. That's a soft emotion, and that's one that our partner can even get on board with. But we've already heard them. We've already helped them to feel really, truly understood. We've allowed them some space to explore what this looks like for them. So then they're now in an emotional space where they can hear us. And emotional safety is developed when the partner who's sharing their feelings talks gently, and when the partner who's listening focuses on what their partner is sharing and responds with warmth and with caring. As you work to build greater emotional safety, you will feel more and more comfortable communicating difficulties that you're experiencing, the challenges that you've faced, any of your past hurts or traumas, those types of things, because you know that they can now hold space for you. There's lots of ways that we can all go about working on creating greater emotional safety. We can have good boundaries. It's about our body language, being kind of accountable to ourselves. Sometimes we have to work on a few of the mindsets that are holding us back. And what? Some of the things might be easier to work on for you than others. And so for those more difficult ones, they might take you a little bit more time to build that into the relationship. The result, though, is a relationship that is built on mutual trust, respect, and unconditional support. So then not only will you find yourself seen, heard, understood, but you'll also find yourself feeling more connected to yourself and to your partner. We need to get rid of the myth that vulnerability is weakness and reveal that truth is our most accurate measure of courage. It offers both an invitation and a promise. When we drop the armor that protects us from feeling vulnerable, we open ourselves up to the experience that bring purpose and meaning to our lives. I know how hard it can be to let our guard down and let somebody in to those really intimate moments within ourselves. But when we do, we at least extend the opportunity for our partner to create that safety, to hold that space for us. And sometimes we just need to tell them what it is we need in that moment and be willing to even share that. Like, even when we're able to say, all I need from you right now is to just listen, or something to that effect, right? I'm just sharing with you something that's been really on my heart and on my mind, and I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, right? So we start off by sharing in a softer way too, so that we can help our partner learn how to better hold space for us. All right. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will be back next week. Bye for now.